Lord, I miss Daniel. Lord, I miss him.
I don't know if us holding the mic is like. I'm just gonna be staring at the wave to see if it.
No, don't worry about that. I think it's gonna sound fine no matter what.
Yeah, it seems like it'll be okay. Do I take my hat off? Do I keep my hat on? I don't I gotta get practiced.
You should keep it on and off in 30-second intervals.
Yeah, that way it looks like we're shooting a bunch of different on this day, and I just wear the same shirt all the time. You too?
Yeah, I do.
You just stare into the. Or
what
look at each
topics?
other.
We should
talk about topics.
Yeah, I don't like that. It's that they're looking at us, that that's looking at us. To me, that's.
Is it just like it's distracting?
A little.
I'm just gonna be staring at the waves, and then, when I move my voice, it goes up and down. It's just like, just sit at home and just watching my. It's a hobby I have. I don't know if I'm holding it right or you're holding it right.
Well, these are meant to be on the table, so this is actually right.
I see this direction. Is us moving around at all? Like, it's weird.
So,
dive into a topic. I guess.
Well, we can discuss our surroundings first.
We're in nowhere land. We're in the abyss with 2 director's chairs. This is heaven. Is there nothingness and 2 director's chairs, and you're just talking?
Do you want to continue talking about what we were talking about before?
Yeah, what we were talking about. We had to the whole time not talk about anything.
Oh no, I meant 5 seconds ago with people who we can't name because we can't name people.
I gotta name some people. It was weird, like, let's get prepping and stuff, and we just can't dive into a conversation. Like, so we have to hold back on all these things, and now it's
time,
and I have to think of what to say. What were we talking about that before?
Photography. But no, we should skip that.
Oh, sorry, but people shooting, and I don't like them, but I like their work anyways.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah. That's the first topic of the first podcast is right into like separating the art from the artist. Like, it's just like the fucking topic that everyone talks about. It's like
people talk about that.
Oh yeah, all the time. Michael Jackson, like, he licked all these kids' buttholes, but he's a good dancer and singer. So, do you have to like the person? Do you have to like throw their art away if you dislike the person?
Yeah. Well, if everyone talks about it, we should skip that subject too.
Yeah. I don't think I have any.
But I would like to talk
about it. I might have insights about it. I just forget about it. In my room, since I was like a kid, since I was conscious, I think I would always like make up fake interview questions that people would ask me, and then I would answer them or whatever in my mind. And I've been doing that for.
Do you remember them?
It's like it's all the time.
Well, I can ask you those. You should have given those to me.
No, but the thing is, I've already said them in my mind.
You said what, the questions?
Yeah, I'll make up a question. Like if somebody were, what's your stance on this? And then in my mind, I would answer it. I've been interviewing myself since I was like a kid.
Yeah.
And then I'd give out these like, I wouldn't say them out loud, just go on these rants about this is how I guess I sort out my thoughts and feelings. It's in an interview style.
Yeah.
So some unknown person asked me, and then I'm like, and having little witty repartees and like little jokes at whatever. And
so
sometimes there's crowd reactions.
The pinnacle of your existence is as a guest on a talk show.
I think so, I guess.
Yeah, mine too. Which show?
It's.
Are you both the interviewer and the guest?
In my mind, yeah.
Oh yeah. See, that's
fucked up. What, you have a specific interviewer like Donahue or something?
No, it's always the late night hosts.
Oh, okay.
Letterman or Leno.
Never once has it been that for me, I don't think. I right away went to daytime talk show, like trashy TV, throwing chairs at people.
Yeah.
Or like a deposition, like where I'm in court. Like, it's more like a legal process where they're asking me why I did certain things, and you know, I'm in jail and they're like doing a documentary on me.
Yeah.
I've lived my whole life as if they were going to make a documentary on me. Like I made decisions like, mostly like I became conscious of it in high school where like, I'm going to make a decision based on if I was to be writing a biography or someone was writing a book about me, what would be a better story? So if they're like, oh, I can go to like math class, or some person's asking to skip, I would in my mind be like, oh, for the book, it'd be better to skip. There's more, and then I made decisions like that for like forever. Well, I think I was making decisions like that before, but then I became conscious of it, and I'd always, okay, I'm gonna try to at least predict what the most cool thing to be in a documentary or biography of my life.
I suspect that a lot of people do that, but we don't think about it in terms of a documentary or a movie or a book.
I guess
because everyone has their own story. It's all, I think. I think I do.
Like so,
I think of the story of my life and how.
Right. You're saying you don't know people are conscious of it when they. Like so, in school, I use this a lot for skipping. Like, oh, you can go to school, go to class. It's probably not going to be a very cool story about it, but if I skip school and we go smoke weed or do something, that would be more exciting, and there's more potential for it to be an exciting story.
I don't think that's totally abnormal.
Okay, they'd be like, oh, they're going to be writing a documentary about me. What are they going to write about? You going to math class, or are you going to write about you running across the broken
Where do you think FOMO came from? That whole idea that people were living by for about 5 years.
Yeah, I think they're all like connected or whatever. Yeah, I guess you don't want to fear missing out or whatever, which I have. I used to have that in spades, like constantly.
Yeah.
Getting over it now, I guess. But it was always in my mind about like something's being written, like when they do the recap of your life or make the docu-series, what would have been a more interesting story. So then I'd make a decision. It's just an excuse to skip or whatever, to like make bad decisions or whatever. And like, oh, this is for the book. It's for the footage. Or if you can do stuff and film it or whatever, it's okay.
Yeah. Okay, well then there goes my theory.
I would always be trying to film stuff as well. I guess that's not really the same thing.
That's what I thought it was.
Being interviewed in my mind.
But you're talking about two different things. You're saying on the one hand, it's about the documentation of it and the story, the narrative.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you're
that.
talking about like it's being an excuse to skip. How skipping is actually the fun thing to do. It doesn't matter whether it's whether the story is interesting. It's what's fun to you. So is it
like skipping school is a bad choice, whatever. Going to school is hard. Going to class is hard. I don't like it. It's embarrassing. Like it's like hard, whatever, to do. To go to class, I found it very hard to do. Be in class, be called upon, like remembering stuff. Like I struggled in school like hard.
Yeah.
And then people were skipping, or they had like free periods, or I'd skip by myself all the time. But in my mind, I just kind of made up this story like, oh, you know, when you retrospectively look at your life, or when somebody inevitably writes the documentary about you, what is the avenue that's going to lead to more fun stories? And I would just do that. But I look back and be like, oh, it's just an excuse to skip, or to drink, and like to do bad behavior at all, like to break stuff, to put my life in danger, or to like, it's going to be a better story. It's always for the story. That is inevitably going to be written about me. Because that gets like psychopath behavior. Where I'm like, oh, this is all being documented. I think even to a point, like when I was younger, even younger than that, like in elementary school and stuff, like the way like you sit on, I turn my chair backwards and this and that, like as if it was being filmed at all time, like it was part of some reality show.
Yeah.
Some god character is watching me. That's a fucking cool way to sit on a chair.
I feel like I used to have that. I haven't done like that in a while.
I think it's psychopathic behavior.
I think it's self-consciousness.
It's self-consciousness or narcissism, or are they the same thing?
I don't know.
I don't care. I think I'm like a bunch of times I think, oh, I'm a narcissist or whatever, but I like don't love myself. Like I hate myself. But if you're just constantly thinking about yourself, whether you hate yourself or love yourself, I don't know if that matters. You're still just a narcissist because you're just focused on yourself.
Yeah, that's how I've thought about it too. But I don't know that.
But when
I don't know if doctors agree with that.
And when I make decisions, usually,
or if regular people agree with that.
I always like want to do things for other people. Whatever, like, will you help me move? Yes, I want to do that. I want to help this person. I always like put other people first. So I don't know if that means, but maybe I'm not actually doing that. I don't know. This is the therapy session.
This is a therapy session.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not sure if I'm a narcissist. I might be. Can you hate yourself and be a narcissist?
Probably, I would guess, medically speaking, you probably could, but it doesn't matter. It's not like if you were
a functioning narcissist, if you're drunk and you can just continue on, it doesn't matter?
No, if you're okay with yourself and other people are okay with you, you're not hurting anyone, what's the difference what you call it?
Yeah, I don't know if people are okay with me. I'm not okay with me.
No, I'm okay with you.
I think it's fine, I guess. But I don't know if I'm hurting people. And then also hurting people to what degree and in what capacity.
Yeah.
Can you live your life without hurting other people?
No. So yeah, I think you have a good kind of narcissism. The fact that you're even asking these questions.
Just completely self-conscious about everything all the time.
Completely self-conscious about
debilitating.
About whether you're hurting people. I don't think a true narcissist feels
like if you're
that.
narcissistic and you're like, I know this is going to hurt somebody, but fuck them. It's good for me.
Yeah.
I don't think, is there anybody like that in the world?
Yeah.
Is that just like a character of what people think a narcissist is, or like no, it's way more.
It's just what we tell ourselves in order to think we're okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not the narcissist. The other people go and actually try to harm people. They're just like, fuck this guy specifically, and there's never been a human being that's ever been like that. Thank God. Accidentally fucking over everyone.
Thank God for Hitler, because we can always use Hitler.
He is like the litmus test of like what is bad.
Are you good or bad? Well, I'm not Hitler, so I'm good.
Yeah, so that's why I think people, when they get really like, well, he did some good things and did that, or they're like, dude, that's our fucking North Star. What are you doing? Like, that's our evil person.
Yeah.
If you take that away from us, then we're not sure who the fuck is evil. I think that's a big reason why people don't don't humanize him. Like, it's not helpful. The reward for humanizing him is not.
It's not worth it.
No.
Well, Kanye was. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, which is.
He said about the highways and the microphones.
Yeah, is he trolling? Because the microphone is not made by him. He didn't make anything. He's just the leader at the time, and he's like, "Okay, put all this money into this whatever shit."
I also heard that American engineers invented highways.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That's what I heard yesterday.
They did. The country was broken, or whatever. It lost the war. There were sanctions on them. They were dying, whatever. Everybody just turning on everybody because it's resource guarding, or you're running out of resources. This person came in and said, hey, I'm going to fix all these problems. People are, I think, skeptical, and they forced themselves in anyways. And then they fixed these problems and were okay, fine. You built roads and you ripped up treaties, and they weren't allowed to have a military, and they built a military. And then they just went fucking ape shit and went catastrophic. So
how does the microphone?
At the beginning, you're like, okay, sure, they're justified. And you could find things that are like, okay, they had like an idea to make a car that's for everybody, so they like actioned that, and then that worked out.
What car?
The Volkswagen. So like they were like, they had these kind of ideas. I don't know if it's him or the party or whatever. It's like because they're trying to regrow Germany because it was dying after World War I because they lost. There's treaties put in on them. So basically, anytime you lose, and when you sign a treaty, that means you basically lost a war, and that you're going to be bled dry after. You might be able to survive. There's some sort of whatever, but when you sign a treaty, it's inevitably going to fail. It's any kind of contract you sign with somebody over a long enough time span. It's not going to be beneficial to you. And if you're the winner of the war, you are going to make the contract to your benefit and not to these other people. So people are so confused, like, oh, this treaty is no good. Yeah, you lost the conflict. In order for us to stop bombarding you and killing you because we have some sort of edge, we'll stop if you sign this treaty. And this treaty is generally not in your favor, and then it squeezes you dry over this time.
Yeah.
There's a chance you can whatever. So they lost World War One. They were getting squeezed dry. They lost their ports. They weren't allowed to have a military. They were dying as a country. So people were pissed. It was right to turn people on one another. Even though I don't believe they were doing that at the beginning, they were just kind of saying like, "Hey, we're going to rip up these treaties and do the things that we're not supposed to do anyways. Like we're going to have a military. We're going to start doing all this stuff." And then they stimulated the economy, so they turned the economy around. So people were, that's why I think he was like a Times Person of the Year.
Yeah.
They had the Olympics there. All that time, it wasn't like, I don't believe it was, they were flat out like with their full agenda. People didn't know what the full agenda was. So then you're like, okay, there are these measurable things on paper that were good. But at the end, like, it was catastrophic and terrible. So this idea of like, you being for truth's sake, okay, he might have not been 100% evil or whatever, but it's better for the story. Who cares about this motherfucker's reputation? The seeking of truth at this time is kind of more detrimental to like, it's better to have him as like, he's an evil person.
Yeah.
This is like what not to emulate or whatever. This is what can go wrong when you have people like strong arming you or, like promising you endless amounts of things with no recourse. Or really, to me, it's like giving too much power to one group, because eventually you are going to separate. Your beliefs are going to be different from theirs, and it's too fucking bad. At the beginning, you might like, let's give these people all this power because they're going to do all this great stuff. And then you might be aligned with them.
Yeah.
And that's why you give them the power. And then they start eventually, even on a one-to-one basis, two people are going to split off, and one person's going to have these beliefs and you're going to have these beliefs or whatever. So giving too much power to a group is always just a bad idea. That's the takeaway. This is what it looks like to be evil. This is like, the takeaway to me is like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, or don't give people too much power, because eventually they'll deviate from your belief structure and they'll go against you.
And how does Kanye factor into this?
So he just doesn't know what he's talking about. But I think he was just trying to be like, because they didn't. They had the.
Did you hear the interview?
I saw a little clip of it.
I didn't hear anything. All I heard was secondhand.
Yeah,
was he?
I think he was. It's funny because when Kanye said this and Kanye did that, like you can look at a person, you can look at a child or a person acting out of pocket or whatever, just fucking saying whatever they think, whatever, and you can kind of encapsulate it. Okay, I think I know what he was saying here. I don't know why you would say it, or he was wrong he shouldn't have said it. I don't know why he would have said it. Also, he was inaccurate and stuff, but you can kind of get it like, I think he was trying to just say this angle. He did some good stuff as well. Like, don't simplify things in your mind, whatever. I don't particularly know what the good of finding the silver lining of Hitler. I don't know really what the good of that is for society, but clearly he was attempting to say that, I believe. People are clunky with what they're saying. I don't think that a lot of people are like specifically, I don't know, I hate this person or this. Well, usually logic eventually kicks in. You're like, okay, well that's fucking stupid. I don't know if that's giving humanity too much credit, but I think this idea of like these simplified people who are like, I hate these people, blah 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 blah. They're just like mad at a person, or they've had a small interaction with this group, so now that represents that whole group. But the people are just, that's how people think. They just have to compartmentalize things, whatever. And I just don't think that people are as like super evil. I think you just look at. I think you just look at him like, he should just shut up. Like, this isn't helpful to anybody or whatever. I don't know if you're just trying to be controversial, or you're just like, truth is like a very important thing to you, no matter, even if it's detrimental or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really know. But he's just, I don't know.
Yeah. I shouldn't comment on it either because I haven't.
Yeah.
I have no knowledge of what
I didn't really watch the thing either.
I just enjoy discussing Jews.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
And anti-Semitism.
I was thinking of the other day, Jews in general like use humor like a lot, even like when they will even like joke about the Holocaust and all that sort of stuff. And I think that kind of brings a lot of like people who are non-Jews or whatever, Gentiles,
Goyim, we call them.
like into the fold, and you're like, it's like a way to relate. Like humor is a way to like bridge gaps or whatever. And I think Jewish people have utilized that to like a high degree. It seems like, you know, making or being okay with movies or making movies, or like, you know, there's lots of movies that are like make light of like the Holocaust and this and that, which is not like, people aren't walking around like, fuck that, it was a stupid thing. What a funny thing to laugh at. People are like, humor is more complicated than that, but I think as a tool, like to bond you with a different group of people, like utilizing humor is like generally a good idea. And I think they're like, I know it's not a conscious effort.
I think
where all the Jews got together and were like, well, let's use humor to bring. It's just something that seemed to have worked, and like a lot of people.
I don't think that's what we're doing.
Do you know think it's conscious?
I don't know. I think what we're doing is flexing our muscles. I think that's what.
Like in any, like we're funny, we're this, we're that.
Yeah, I think that's.
Like
I think
excelling.
Yeah, it's like a performance. Humor is a performance.
Right. I think secondary. Well,
to me, it's the secondary part.
The secondary, yeah,
is that it brings people together.
Yeah, and I think it's utilized. And then I was wondering, other communities should do that as well.
Black people are funny.
Yeah, but they don't like. They don't go around and be like, you should. Hey, white guy, you should say the N-word. It's hilarious. Like,
that's true. But Jews don't do that either.
I'm trying to think because I felt like I'm just thinking of Jojo Rabbit. It's like
I still won't watch that.
It's fucking funny.
I won't watch. I've decided to not watch any.
Yeah. Do you think like not watching it like is when you give, because you're giving reverence to like this historical atrocity or whatever, you're like, I don't think it's worth making light of in any way.
You mean irreverence?
You have reverence.
Oh, I have reverence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not going to support anything. Is that why? Like, I'm not going to support anything that kind of makes light of it.
Yeah, I don't like the idea. I don't like the idea of turning it into entertainment.
Right. What if somebody does it like in a Spielberg does it in like not a
Schindler's
funny way?
List?
Yeah. It's entertainment.
Still
he's making money. He's profiting.
Still feels like entertainment. It still feels like it's.
Yeah, are you okay with that? Schindler's List, or I see. But I think it's good across the board. If you have like what's that? A moral value?
I think it's a moral.
I gotta fix my posture.
Well, we're sitting in fabric chairs.
Mine's broken. Several ways.
I was just noticing your posture today. Actually, I was like,
it's really bad.
No, you have great posture. As a walker.
Because I'm short. I'm trying. Like they say,
taller.
Yeah, and then tall people hunch over, so everybody's the same.
Yeah, but I have bad posture.
I have this weak back, and I'm just on my phone all the time now. Like,
oh
god. So across the board, you'll be like, I don't think.
But I also just don't want to watch most things.
Is this a Jewish thing or is it a movie thing? You're just like, no, I don't think movies should be made about.
I just don't want to watch most things.
No anamorphic movies. I don't watch movies where.
I just don't want to watch any movies, and I have an excuse for every every genre. I just feel like I don't really watch movies anymore.
I used to be such a movie person, and I just like don't care anymore.
No,
it's so hard to watch.
You know why? It's because we don't see trailers anymore.
Maybe
that's why.
No hype. That's a good theory.
We don't put in video cassettes, and then remember before the cassette plays, there's like
trailers.
You get the trailers coming soon to what is it?
They'd be on TV as well. A theater near you?
No, it was like coming soon to video cassette. It would say.
Yeah. Or a theater near
that was if you were.
But
was if you were in the theater.
You'd watch the videotape that's 5 years old and like coming to a theater near you. You. I can't even say that. I got in this argument with somebody.
Yeah.
Sorry, I trampled.
I don't remember what I was going to say anyways.
Well, I have a lot to say about so you're saying the tactile experience is gone, or you're just saying the trailers, because you'd see them on TV, you'd see them at the movies, and then you'd see them on VHS. So you'd have all this like hype pieces that are like getting you into it.
It was mostly the trailers on the tapes and then in the movies.
It would get you into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So advertising's good.
Brings people together.
It makes you like films.
It makes you like films.
Film industry's dying because there's no ads. That's a pretty good theory. They used to do, the trailer would be like somebody coming out of the movie, and there'd be like the cardboard cutout of the movie, and they'd be in the lobby of the, how was Godzilla? It was the greatest movie of all time. And there's people giving testimonials.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I remember the last time.
Those are awesome.
The last time I think I saw that was for King Kong or Kong, whatever it was, with Jack Black and Naomi Watts.
I don't know. That could have that
But
movie that you're describing could have been 20 years ago or 2 years ago. I have no reference for it, but I don't even know in time where that could have been.
It's like 14.
14 years ago.
Something. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
But that was the last one, and I remember at the time thinking, "What? This is no good."
Like when they were doing the interviews.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care what random people think.
They're not going to put in like, oh, it's a complete piece of shit. It was a terrible, terrible movie. There was no subplots.
But the weird thing is,
they're not going to include those people.
even though I hated those testimonials, I did end up. I went to go see it.
No.
But it was probably the trailers that. No, I don't know what it was. I don't know. I probably didn't even see the trailer for the testimonial.
I miss those testimonials. Makes you feel like you have friends, you know? Care about movies.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to be friends with people who give testimonials.
They must have given something for free, and it was probably something so shitty like a plastic cup or some sort of crazy straw, or like a slide-on cardboard piece.
holographic
Some
cup?
crappy. Yeah, that's worth tons of money now because it's nostalgic to those people.
Or
remember that time I was on
popcorn,
TV and I gave that testemonial?
Yeah, well, they tell that
I'm
all
going
the
to spend
time.
$5,000 to get that cup back.
I tell people all the time that I was in a Soccer Expo commercial for 1 second.
Were you?
Yeah.
Like,
Thought I'd mention that to you.
you told me this?
No, I probably haven't.
What is it?
The Soccer Expo?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's just an expo for soccer. You know, they got like Fan Expo.
Oh, okay.
So they used to have Soccer Expo.
So each team has like a booth or different ball companies? It feels like there's not much to soccer. There's teams and balls. That's it.
No, there's shoes.
Okay. Socks.
Yeah,
Shin guards.
shins, yeah.
Oh my God. You go there and there's,
It was at the hangar. It was a big thing.
do they give you orange slices when you get a big Tupperware full of orange
Yeah,
slices?
there's different orange slice companies.
Yeah. Those side snacks.
Yeah, I was in a commercial. They were panning, and you could see me in the commercial.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was being filmed. But
I would have yelled some obscenity at the. How old were you? Was this last year or like in your early life?
no, 1998.
I'm so bad with.
I would have been.
Like doing the
I would have been 8 or 9.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the Jews.
So should other groups like try to like use humor in their oppression? I don't know if that's the right word. Should they incorporate it and be like?
Well, they should because well, I don't know.
I think they're kind of doing it in that Reservation Dogs, which I like.
Reservation Dogs.
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs.
No, it's a show, but it's a play on the words of that. And it's these kids growing up in a res, like indigenous kids.
Oh.
I liked it. There's parts I don't like, but I think it's the same dude who did Jojo Rabbit as well. So it's, but there's like, I grew up like around so many like indigenous people or whatever. They were fine with Indian, like whether they are or not now, Indian, First Nations, whatever. I want to say that I don't think it bothered them, and then people will be like, well, that maybe it did, and they just didn't feel like they could say anything, whatever. I don't feel
What
like
are you talking about? Like what you call them?
yeah, just everything. This kind of like conflict.
They weren't.
I feel like
they weren't
it's
sensitive.
a resurgence now, like about it, like
A resurgence of what?
of conflict. Like there's conflict between like groups or whatever, and it wasn't just like Europeans versus like indigenous people or indigenous people. Like they had conflicts with one another. They were on sides of the other Europeans were fighting, French were fighting, English. All these. There's been conflicts between. There's conflicts between groups of people. There's been like that forever. We have like it's been a little milder, but it might very well go right back to.
But you think that it's white people who are bringing up these conflicts?
I think
in defense of other groups.
I think on behalf of other groups, yeah.
Oh,
I feel like it's from a
so.
guilt whatever. I'm not saying that they're like what they're saying has no merit. Like they may be bringing up points, or whatever, but it's like, oh, you know, say somebody has had a trauma or this some sort of conflict in their life, and then, you know, they're not thinking about it, and then somebody comes in and be like, you know what, you should be more mad about that. You should be, and then they dredge up this thing. Like, is that the appropriate way to do things?
I don't know if that's accurate though.
You don't think that people are going on behalf, hey, you should be mad that they're calling you
I
idiots? That was a misnomer.
I think
like,
yeah,
so many words.
I think that is happening, but it doesn't mean that the inverse is not also happening, and is the more important thing to be thinking about.
Like, so there are people who are actually
there are people who are part of that community who are.
I think that's
feel
definitely
like
true. Here's a lane. Somebody has said something, and now I'm going to take this opportunity. Yeah, that's true.
Wait, what?
You're saying that like people, Indigenous people might have been just feeling this anyways,
they might have,
and then now somebody has said something, and they're like, okay, here's.
Or they just
people are listening,
or they just said something, and then white people are piling on. But it's not important to, I don't think, to listen to the white people. To listen, not in this case. Not unless they're complaining about how they're.
I don't know how much like. Do you just subscribe to the thing like, well, if you're not this thing, you shouldn't have an opinion about it? Like, should only football players be able to talk about football? Like, if you're a spectator or whatever, you're like, yeah, what do you have to say? I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I think you can have insights about other things.
Yeah,
like,
but certain.
You're never going to be able to fully empathize with anyone, even if you're like brothers and sisters, twin brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
brothers.
but
you're not going to be able to fully empathize. It doesn't mean that you have nothing to offer.
Yeah, but we're trying to figure out who is driving the discourse. We don't want to like. If there's a narrative happening, right, and there's multiple sides, you got to figure out who am I supposed to listen to most, and it's the person who is affected the most.
Right. Yeah.
So it's in the case of let's say.
Yeah, somebody says, I'm offended by you saying this thing, and they're very upset about it.
Like, we should probably have a native person
sanctioning this.
No, yeah, talking.
Or like while they're down lower.
Yeah. That's the only place. There's no space here.
Yeah, they're sitting cross-legged on the floor.
That's what I meant to say.
Let's talk about different races and cultures and how they sit,
and how they
squat, how they.
Let's actually do this.
They sit cross-legged or cross-legged. Original OG Indians sitting cross-legged with their legs folded inside of one another, yogi style.
They do.
That's the whole thing. People came over here, saw Indigenous people sitting cross-legged, and they're like, "I know who does that. Indians. You guys are Indians."
Yeah, that's probably bang.
I think that's exactly what happened. The people just they thought they were Indians, and they were not.
I know that
there's so many words in the languages that are just
cross-legged
wrong.
position anywhere.
Yeah,
what words?
Like this.
Yeah,
but you know, like East Indians, whatever, they will do like the extra tuck. Like when you're in yoga, you cross your legs and then you tuck the one back inside.
Yeah,
it holds itself.
Yeah,
and then
So that's how natives do it.
No natives just sit normal.
Natives just sit normal cross-legged.
Yeah. Europeans came across, they're like, who are these people? Oh, cross-legged. You're Indians. That'll work for now. They're like, I don't care. Sure, use whatever white word you want to call us. We're going to call you whatever we want to call you. If it's inaccurate, we'll be like, oh shit, at a party down the line, you're like, they thought they were Indians and that's why they call them Indians. I'm like, okay. I don't think it's a big point. There's so many words that are just wrong. And we're like, well, we're just going to continue using it.
Yeah, like which?
That's just like language in general. Like, oh, an American robin. It's technically not a robin, it's a thrush. So, we've been calling it that for this long. Nice little factoid. Sure, if you're performing a task that needs you to truly separate these birds by their whatever, then you should know that. Other than that, who cares about misnomers? Like, who cares about calling things the wrong thing?
Well, the Indians, or the natives.
Do they though? I don't think they do. I think the other people are offended on there.
Well, how come we don't know any?
What do you mean?
You know any natives?
Yeah, grew up, there's tons of people.
I can think of one person I know who's part native.
Yeah.
But I haven't asked her.
But then that you're getting into the situation where you're like, oh, they're representative
Of both.
of everything.
Yeah, so it doesn't count.
Hey, Jewish person, can I call you guys this?
No, but it's something. You got to start somewhere.
But the task cannot be completed. You can't go and round up.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to round up people by race anymore. That's the good question now.
No, for their own betterment, you can.
Like, I'm doing a survey. I need 100% of you guys to know exactly what you feel.
It's an internal survey, and I will share the results with whoever I talk to.
I think
However,
people are clunky. They're going around. They're accidentally insulting people all the time.
Yeah.
They don't have the mental capacity to be polite to everybody. Politeness is a form of respect. If respect is earned by, earned by people you know. You're polite to people you know. If it's easy to be polite, then you'll just be polite. If it's a very hard thing and you don't know anybody this applies to, you won't put energy into it. If I know somebody and they're very important to me and they ask me to act in this way, then I will try to do that for them, or I might lose them as a friend or relative, whatever. But this idea of like me not knowing, I have to know how to politely treat everybody in the entire world. It's an impossible task, and holding people to that level is just going to cause conflict. That's a fueling. Sure, the attempt is noble to be. I wish I was polite to everybody in the world. I wish I never made a mistake. I wish I never stepped on anybody's toes. Like those, yeah, sure, but it's impossible, and you can't hold people to that accountability. That's going to cause more conflicts than it's going to bridge gaps, I think. If you're a minority, you don't want conflicts because generally 2 people are tougher than 1 person, or like 100 people to 1 person. Like conflicts are not in your favor. Like if you can manage to change things the way you want them or need them to be, conflict is not the route you should go. Majorities can use conflict over minorities because it's a good strategy for large group versus small.
I don't understand how being sensitive causes more conflict.
If you're telling people to like, hey, you must treat me in this way, and like you're demanding an action from somebody. You can ask the person, hey, I don't really like to be, me and my friend, everybody that I know generally don't like to be called Indians or whatever. It was a misnomer. It's not really offensive, but I feel like your community doesn't respect my community. And this small step can be a nod to the respect that you have, whatever. Yeah. Do you mind calling me Indigenous? Yeah. Or whatever. Okay, that doesn't take a lot of brain power. Yeah. Okay, I'd like to do that for you.
Has that happened? I don't even know if that's happened.
Well, that people will change. Like, what was people? They were called Indians for a while. They even called themselves Indians or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I believe there was like First Nation. It was to kind of show, hey, or Native, like we're native to this land. Yeah. Or we're First Nation. This is the First Nation. We're First Nation. You guys are Second Nation, or whatever. And then. No, we want to be called Indigenous. Like the it keeps changing, whatever. Well, things do progress over time. Yeah. But you're saying to people eventually were like, well, I don't care enough. Like people are selfish and they will give stuff. They'll do for strangers things that is easy, and for friends they'll do stuff that's a little harder. For family they'll do stuff that's a little harder than that. Yeah. For themselves they'll do stuff that's harder, and even for a lot of times. They won't even do hard shit for themselves. People won't do hard stuff for themselves. Yeah. So you coming out of nowhere and demanding something that's hard for somebody or whatever, they're just not going to respond well, and that's just bad for your cause. Mm-hmm. And if your cause is like causing you, like if some causes are small, like I feel a little bit uncomfortable, or some causes are like I'm in danger because of this, whatever. So like. If you really want to succeed in your cause, then you're going to try to find the best way to actually succeed, rather than taking a stubborn way and be like, I want to succeed in this way. And like, okay, well, to me that feels like it's a less of a priority for you're taking some hard route to accomplish something that seems minor. I don't know what I'm saying, just some white supremacy shit, I guess. I just think I don't think of myself as this group or that group. I'm just like, it just seems like mathematical. If you're a small group, you need to, and there's a big group, and it could be anything. You could be in a room full of people, and there's 5 women and 1 man or whatever. And if the conversation gets divided, and it seems like those factors are a thing. You're a minority in this situation, and there's a way for you to succeed in that situation. There's a way for you to fail in that situation, and like the minorities and majorities happen like all the time, from room to room to country. Like literally the definition, like small group and big group, minorities, whatever. If you're a minority, you are disadvantaged. You have a disadvantage in a lot of. There's maybe some advantage, like if individuality and uniqueness has a high value, then you being a minority is good, whatever. But a lot of the times, if you're trying to make the group do a certain thing, and you're at a disadvantage to try to sway a whole group to act accordingly, or in a way you want to do. So there's ways that you can be successful and that have been proven, like, hey, this doesn't cost you. You got to appeal to, like, this doesn't cost you anything. It means a lot to me, and you doing nice things for me. Maybe down the line I'll do nice things for you. Or that's how I believe people work. Yeah. And I think giving a small group of people, or a minority in any case, like advice to, no, you should do this. Like, you should go and stomp on the throats of, like, you're giving them bad advice. Like, that's bad advice to give somebody.
But when is that happening? When is someone giving them advice like that?
Or maybe just like I see routes where I'm like, see groups and like doing certain things, and I'm like, I personally don't think that's a good route that you should go. Like, you should appeal, like, I don't know too much about the conflicts, but there's like, land, and they're trying to go through it with pipeline and stuff like that.
Sure.
So there's different ways that you can either try to stop it, or you can appeal to. There's many different ways that you can bomb the fucking things. You can be non-violent. There's all these different ways to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, which is to stop them from going to your land, or to, like, I don't know, maybe you want something for that privilege or whatever, and then
something for that.
Like, maybe they're like, yeah, you can come for our land, but what you're giving, I don't know if they're saying no, don't go through there at all, or if it's like, no, you need to pay, and a lot more than you're willing to, or you need to give us this, or that. I don't know what they want. I don't know if they're all on the same page. But you could give some of them advice. Hey, you should bomb all the trucks, and then do terrorist acts, and people are like, okay, then people are just going to be not care about your cause. They're going to think, oh, you're dangerous, whatever. You can't talk to you, whatever. You're be written off as a terrorist or whatever, and nobody will give a fuck about your cause, and you will not succeed, whatever. You can give people that advice.
Yeah, but who's giving them that kind of advice? I never heard that.
I don't know. I'm just making up all these. This is like these interviews of these things in my mind. But I would like, I'm just using that as an example. But for you to say, hey, land ownership, a lot of people like think land ownership or private property like is a valuable thing in society. So if you were to, God, I keep hitting the mic. If you were to appeal to all these people, like, hey, this is a land issue, or like, yeah, about ownership, but like, forget that. Who's trying to come through, or who we are as people. The value of being able to own your own land, and somebody to come and just take it because they fucking want to is immoral. And that is what believe you would be more successful if you can get everybody on board. Hey, this affects you as well. You're basically taking yourself out of a minority and putting yourself in the majority. You're convincing the majority. People are just looking at, oh, this is a minority. This is a problem. It doesn't affect me. Whatever. It doesn't affect my group in this situation. My group being whatever.
Yeah.
But then if you can push yourself into the majority and be like, hey, this is a land ownership thing. If you want to own land and have autonomy over it or whatever, then we're on the same side here. You need to get over here and help. Yeah. Where I think that's possibly a better route.
Yeah.
I don't know if this. I'm not a strategist.
That's a pretty good idea, actually.
But I think I just hear people all the time where they're just not. I don't know if it's these people I've made up in my mind, or I just hear people that I'm around. They'll give advice to a group, which I'm like, you wouldn't take that advice, and you wouldn't give that advice to your child, because you're basically like, put all your money on green on a roulette table, and you wouldn't fucking do that. You wouldn't give that advice to somebody that you actually cared about.
Yeah.
But if you want to make money, just do this. This is some bullshit advice.
What's a recent example?
Telling any minority to go face to face with a majority and start a conflict, that's bad advice, I think. Conflict is not good for you if you're a minority. You need to appeal to their sensibility. You need to like, show the sameness rather than the difference. You don't emphasize the difference and then say you versus me. And if you're in a small group, it's just a logistics thing. You're going to lose.
What about on a more micro scale? People giving advice that they wouldn't take themselves.
I think I try not to give advice now. Like over time, like I think you give advice. I think I'm giving less advice. I think giving people advice is pretty bad unless they come unsolicited. Yeah, if they come and ask you, and when they ask you, I think they'll know. Okay, what the takeaway should be, or whatever, what the value is going to be. If you just give it to them from a point of authority, that you might confuse them. Like, oh, this person's an authority on this, I guess, so they're giving me advice, and you don't know really how much to value that. If I go into somebody that I know, and I know, they've gone through a divorce, and I'm going to go through a divorce, hypothetically, I think they might have some good points of view. Also, I know that he hates women now because of this thing that his wife did, which I believe is unjustified. You know what to take from that advice. Mm. So if you get unsolicited advice, and you're like, I don't know how to sort out what the importance of this advice is, and you might take it. You should just throw it away, I guess. If it's unsolicited, just throw it away. But I try not to give advice to people because I've witnessed other people giving advice, and I don't think that's good advice. It's like you don't know that person. You haven't tailored that advice to this person, or you're bitter at this group or this whatever, so you're giving this advice to.
Well, people just use advice as a way to express themselves.
Yeah, for sure. Take it with a grain of salt. That's why I say I try not to give advice, but I definitely do. It's a habit.
Yeah.
You're doing it generally from a good point. You think you're doing it from a good point of view.
Yeah. That's passing. If they just do what I say.
Yeah. That's passing on any information. Like. Yeah. You're generally people are not trying. I'd say the majority of people are trying. They think this is good advice or good information. And then some people, like a small amount of people, are like trying to manipulate people. Oh, I know this is bad information. I'm going to give it to this person so that I can gain from it.
Yeah. So
that always makes me launch a rant.
We should generally just stay out of each other's lives.
Yeah, just ignore each other.
Yeah.
If you're a minority, just ignore them altogether. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, let's take a commercial break.
All this rhetoric that I do, people are, that's just white supremacy or whatever. But I don't think this group is superior. I think that this strategy of doing stuff that is a good strategy, and this one is a bad strategy. And it doesn't matter who you are, if you implore, I don't know if that's the right fucking word, this strategy, you're probably going to be more successful. And if you don't, then whatever. That you're probably not going to be successful. The strategy and information of like how to proceed of like getting what you want and need, it's not for certain groups or not for other groups. I just think that like, I don't know.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know. It's just simple. I don't know what it is. It's just, I probably don't actually believe this. It's just like a temporary belief that I have.
Do people call you white supremacist?
If you're a white person, I think they're just like, that's just like an easy out to like write off whatever you're saying. Yeah. If you say anything about power,
you might be the only white person I know.
White person?
Yeah.
Like non-Semitic.
Like, well, what does Semitic mean?
It's a group of people.
From the Semites?
Yeah. Muslims and Jews.
What about like Italians? They're not Semitic.
No.
Or any Europeans?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, there's like 3 original races, and then
what makes someone whiter? What makes someone a white supremacist?
I think white and calling somebody white is like the generic term for like, oh, here's a person who's a European of some. Their complexion is white, but they've been over here so much that they don't care, or they fled their country, or they left their country, and they don't care about their traditions anymore. They're not holding on to them.
I feel like it's 3 generations.
Any group that isn't holding on to their traditions, like they're not like, they'll check out my wooden spoon, check out my pasta sauce. Like anybody who's like let go of that, the generic term for those people are just white people. Those are the like people who
that's
have given up the tradition. It's so funny to me where like people are like, oh, tradition is bad. You shouldn't use it whatever. It's detrimental to these groups. Like they're bad. Tradition is bad, and like religion is bad. And then you get roasted for, oh, you don't have any tradition. You don't have any sauces or shoes or hats. Like
you get roasted.
People just make fun. Oh, white people, they don't have any culture or whatever. But a lot of people, I think, have left their country because they don't fucking like their country, and they don't like the culture that's part of it. So they let it go. Like the wooden shoes, oh, they're kitsch or whatever. They're not good. They're just fucking shit. So you get rid of them. Oh, you're just getting rid of bad ideas, which is, I think, good advice to any group. If you have a religion that is carrying on a bad piece of information, I think
you don't like wooden shoes.
Well, I do, but they're shit. I hate myself, so I was trying to hurt my own feet. I think I am part Dutch or whatever, but
I was gonna ask.
It's such a progressive thing, though, is to get rid of tradition, and then these progressive people will roast people. You don't have any culture. Like I thought we were just trying to come over here and make a new culture.
Yeah,
a culture of equality and intermingling.
They just don't like your culture.
Success.
People don't like your culture. They don't like your.
It's just like a skateboard. It's
they don't like your.
You're the reason that everything is bad in the world. Okay, sure.
They don't like your cheese.
They don't American cheese. Which is I think
your
German people.
Your cheese string.
I don't think those represent cheese. I think Wisconsin's good at it, and it's Germans or something.
Yeah, no, I don't. Wisconsin.
We were talking about Germans being they're so efficient. Efficiency seems to be a high priority in their culture.
Yeah.
So they're very good at making stuff. So they're like the proto AI. The idea that AI is going to be so efficient, but people are afraid because they're going to be like, AI is going to realize, oh, what's the problem with the world? People, and to start killing people.
Yeah.
We're talking about Germans being efficient proto AI. They're efficient. They start realizing, what the problem with is people. They start fucking killing people.
That is the problem with Germans.
Yeah. They're too efficient. They're like, we got to take this variable out. Just fucking start killing people. That's horrible.
Yeah.
We can't use this because that's entertainment at Jewish people's expense.
No, I have problems with anything German still.
They have apparently
except for
culturally they have
basketball players.
Yeah,
I like the basketball players. That's the only thing I'll consume that's
so
German. Is it? But I won't wear Doc Martens.
I think you should wear Doc Martens.
Not yet. Well, I did some more research.
Don't let racist people take other people's culture and ruin it.
No, it's not the skinhead thing. It's not that. It's that I read that the inventor of the thing was a Nazi.
I thought it was a British soldier, and then they were taking spoils of war, and then he found rubber, and then he's like, "I'm going to use this rubber," and then they're wearing boots all the time, so they put rubber soles on boots so they're more comfortable.
No, it was a Nazi. It was a Nazi soldier, doctor, right around 1946.
I thought he sold it to some doctor.
He was the doctor. The Nazi was the doctor, and he had just sustained an ankle injury while skiing, and he needed.
This sounds so fake.
This is on their website. Or maybe not the skiing part, but this story is all over the place. But this is Dr. Martin. It's spelled a little bit differently. They anglicized it. But he hurt his ankle, and the old boots the soles were made of leather, and so he couldn't get any better. So he ended up inventing the air sole. But it turns out that it might have just been the air sole that was licensed by the British company.
It's so confusing.
They were called Griggs from a family called Griggs from 1905, and then in 1960 or so, they licensed the air sole. It might have been a whole boot that they licensed, and then he changed the design a little, which makes it, for me, more palatable.
Right. Do you think money is going to Nazis?
No, it's the idea that say it was the Nazi that designed
Like he wasn't doing it
the
for
look of
Nazi
it.
reasons.
No, it's just a Nazi who designed a shoe.
Right, but there's lots of stuff that we're still utilizing that.
Yeah, but I mostly don't have a choice.
Space travel and medical.
Well, yeah, but I don't partake in space travel because of Nazis.
Yeah.
But
I'm sitting one out.
Yeah.
Fucking racist.
But yeah, when it comes to like little choices that I can make, if it's something that, if I look at it and say, oh, this design came from a Nazi brain, it's like it's hard for me to enjoy it. So the only saving grace is the idea that
You're stealing from that guy.
He didn't make the look of it. Which is, the jury's still out. I still don't know what he put into it aside from the aerosol.
It's funny, there's like a couple objects that like have like, they cause moral conflict between people, like Fred Perry shirts and Doc Martens.
What's the Fred Perry shirt?
Well, skinheads wear it as well, and all the misinformation about skinheads and fake ass skinheads, racist ones stealing the culture, and they wear it, so they're like, okay, it's a racist shirt now. Like, oh, it was a tennis player made some preppy shirt, and some original skinheads or whatever who are not racist wear it or whatever because they're trying to like do American preppy look or whatever.
Yeah.
And then just like a group of people, like I think it's the moral dilemma is like, are we to let
I'm
pieces of shit spoil stuff?
I'm with you on that.
Steal the culture.
I'm with you on that.
You let these group of people hijack our
It's
culture.
just the fact for me, it's like that it came from a Nazi brain. Potentially.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
That sounds like some eugenics shit. Like, this brain developed this thing, and I don't want those brains doing this. It's too biological. As soon as you say brain, it seems like you're just talking Nazi shit. Just biology.
As opposed to just a Nazi.
Stuff. Yeah. Any biology or medical stuff, that's Nazi shit. We're going back to thinking about diseases as spirits and stuff like that. Any kind of medical stuff, that's their shit.
What do you mean?
They blast. They like, they had,
Did you say we, Nazis?
I meant as a people, but now it's like leaped ahead like science because there was no roadblocks of like them doing research. Like science has no not really any morality or whatever. They're just trying to figure out information. So you can find out a lot about stuff if you have no speed bumps, like no ethics. If you're just like, I want to see what it looks like when somebody's alive and their head's cut off.
That's a good thing.
No, it's terrible.
So what are you saying?
Well, the leaps, just as a fact, is that they like push things forward. So like the silver lining is like a medical at the end. It is much better because they basically had no speed bumps.
Yeah,
no ethics.
But this goes against your original points,
which is
let's not say the good things about the Nazis because ultimately
I don't go around just like that we know a lot more because of the Nazis. So if we could do a little salute to them, that would be nice.
Yeah, you're doing it now, though.
I'm anti-medical. I don't know if you know this. I don't participate in medical stuff. I haven't been to a doctor.
I think I did know that. Yeah.
I just don't. It's more of it's not an anti-doctor stuff.
But you're an anti-regulation thing.
Well, I am, but that's not where I go. I don't love myself enough to. I feel so weird to me to be like, I'm going to do all this self-care. I'm going to go in and waste a doctor's time and waste this money and like sit in my throat hurts and there's so many things, like my fucking back hurts. Like you can go for feet. I think I broke my back at a concert or whatever, and like it's just
and it hurts. Still hurt.
That's hurt for 20 years.
Yeah, so you might want to see a doctor about it.
I went once and then I got a requisition to get a scan and I never did it. So I guess I wasted his time. More so than if I actually got it. I don't know. There's like, everything is not for me. Nothing's for me. Going to the doctors, self-care, dressing well, fucking skin routine, all that stuff is groups, music, parties.
Yeah.
That's not for me. Nothing is for me.
Well, you got to enjoy something.
I enjoy stuff, I guess. But,
and then it's for you.
But now I feel like I'm stealing. I only enjoy immoral acts, whitewashing racism, dog whistling to other racists. walking around talking about shit,
Yeah.
looking at the female form, sleeping,
Fornicating.
fornicating. That's hit or miss now as I'm getting older. I'm like, yeah, but
You can do without it.
I don't want to jump through any hoops to acquire
This
sex.
in
Yeah. Oh,
Should we?
pause for a second.
And we'll be right back.
Should I stop the audio?
No, you can keep it running.
So do you think if I push it again?
Where's the battery at?
Full? Was I even recording? Oh, yeah, I think so. I don't know.
We need a couple of moles.
What? Just go again?
A couple of moles. Yeah, just go.
We have that green one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it.
I'll stay on set. Tell them on set. Alright, uncomfortable. Mine's broken, and it has like
You don't seem uncomfortable.
oh, yeah, I'm not sure. Just clamp stuff. All right, let's do another half. Okay, shit, I forgot to do a clap at the beginning, like so that we can sync up the audio. Like you go clap.
Do you do it now?
Do it.
Well, can't you do it like retroactively?
Oh, later?
You could do it in the middle, and then from that point on.
I'll just assume technology can do it.
Well, will you have a clap?
Well, is that, look at how small that waveform is. I think it's fine as long as it all moves up and down.
Seems to be working. We left the fan on.
Yeah, I could have turned that off. So at the beginning we were talking
Should we
about...
leave it for continuity?
Yeah, maybe if it can... I just assume that technology will like isolate one sound and like, yeah, get rid of that. But I guess there's overlap, so I don't think it works like that.
This is the sound of me shrugging.
Yeah. So at the beginning we were just talking about like Kanye about like or like what is it worth saying, hey, there's some silver lining to like the Nazis or Hitler, and we're basically like, no, this is he's more important as he's a piece of shit figure. No, not to do that. Is he more important as society as like...
Did I just hit something? Oh, it's changed this. Which one do you have?
Yeah. And then this whole time I was talking about all this other stuff, which people will just read as, oh, he's a white supremacist. So I guess we'll just cut out everything that I said because there's like, it's too fragile of an ecosystem. So like, you saying anything might just upset so many people. So,
and yet we live in a culture where everyone is talking all the time and recording all the time.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. I always say it's funny. No, it's not funny.
It's not funny.
People are talking all the time, but they're all saying the same stuff.
None of it's funny.
They're all saying the same stuff, which is people are like, oh, I just prefer this person's voice. Or I like the ads that he reads at the beginning.
Yeah.
Or she.
Or they. No.
Oh, shoot. Okay, we're trying to get sex. Yeah, I don't like putting in any effort. Like, I never have.
How about a prostitute?
That's effort.
A whore.
Well, I'm not good at like,
Whore.
I'm not like good at ordering pizzas or doing any kind of making dentist appointments, like any kind of like administrative stuff. I'm so bad at, and like.
You don't need a with
PhD, a phone.
what do you call those books?
a ledger.
Sure. You're a legend to order a pizza.
I just don't. I'm saying like I don't like those types of acts, whatever. And so like getting hiring a sex worker.
Yeah. You need to leave the house in order to do it.
You have to call them. Like they're gonna come here. We gotta negotiate a price. You gotta tip them.
What if they had a menu?
I'm not against the act like morally at all. No. Just the administrative work that you have to do to get it. I just am like pass.
What if they had a menu?
I don't think you're allowed to. That's the thing is the government has made this stuff illegal, so they put that wall up where if I could just go in like a menu and be like $40 get this, that, and negotiating, and then like tip included, then you go.
Well, you know it has a menu as a pizza place.
Yeah.
But that's too much.
Still, that's too much. You're right. So maybe I wouldn't.
I don't think you would.
Yeah. I better no. So I can.
And a pizza place only has one thing on the menu.
I can walk in and order stuff. I don't like phone stuff.
Well, here's your lucky day.
I know this place. They serve pizza and prostitutes, and everything's up on the wall. It's included. Yeah.
And they don't have phones.
There's no phones allowed. But I always felt like trying to get laid or whatever, like, is on the spectrum of like rape or whatever. Like, it's on the far end, but on the very other end is like, putting a good foot forward in any way to try to get laid. Feels like that's on the...
There's a dishonesty involved in it.
Yeah, and I don't know how to be my based, authentic self. So if I'm acting in any way non-authentic, then I'm on that spectrum.
What's that?
Of the rape spectrum.
If you're...
You have to be authentic, and I don't know how to be
You have to be authentic in order to get laid?
Yeah, if not, then it's cheating. You're lying to some degree. You're putting a good foot forward.
Yeah.
To get what you want. I feel like that about everything. Getting hired, getting paid, having a house, being friends. Like, if I'm not 100% authentic, then I'm cheating with someone.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to be authentic.
I don't understand.
Can you not? Also, the debate is like, can you ever be not authentic? If you're lying to people, then authentically you're a liar. You can never not be authentic. You can be upset with who you are as a person. People might not like it. People, you're a liar.
We gotta back it up.
Okay. There's a spectrum.
There's a rape spectrum.
Yeah, one of them everybody knows what's on the
so
far end. But on the other end.
Okay, wait, hang on. So
no, we're not going to say what's on the far end.
We can't do the spectrum. I can't understand the spectrum. So you're saying if you're inauthentic and you're trying to get sex, then it's rape-like.
Yeah, it's manipulative.
It's manipulative. It's cheating.
Yeah.
Okay, and
I don't actually think this, but I think about it. I think this. This isn't a belief of mine. Because I feel like that would be a very woke thing. Like, you just even putting on a hat or makeup is tricking somebody into doing something that they otherwise might not do if you didn't have that hat or makeup. I think that is... I'm saying this for humor. I don't actually believe this. But it feels kind of like it, though. It feels like it.
Hold on. I'm still trying to understand the premise.
So, if you are not your authentic self to somebody, and as you're trying to get laid, then you're tricking them. And tricking people into doing something that they otherwise wouldn't do is on that spectrum.
Okay, wait, but how does this relate to you?
I'm just saying I don't like to put in any effort. Part of the reason is because of that.
Because it feels dishonest.
Yeah. But I don't know who my authentic self is.
Why not?
It's just a struggle that everyone has, I think. You're trying to be as authentic as possible all the time. Is like being hygienic or putting clothes on, being polite, is that authentic, or is that just like lipstick and rouge to try to trick people into thinking that you're not an absolute piece of shit?
You're probably right in that everything is tied to the situation that you're in. So it's hard to have a universal context.
Is there like a line where you're like, you can put on makeup
because I'm with a person who also likes to put on makeup.
Right. But if you put on a little too much makeup, or you borrowed somebody's makeup that wasn't even yours.
Oh, that's a good one.
more expensive makeup,
Yeah.
then you're in that territory. Where is the line? Is it like, oh, these are things that I might do on a regular day. I might put on makeup. I might be rude. I might be polite.
Yeah.
Any of that stuff in that wheelhouse is who I am.
Yeah.
If you're just all of a sudden doing something like, I would hate,
But
I think about
people are a certain way when they do.
there are a range of ways.
No, when you meet someone for the first time.
Yeah. Well, you put a good foot forward. You're trying to make a good impression.
Well, yeah, it's a
Or
way.
you're trying to make a bad one. Pressure test them, see if they're.
It's just a natural way that people try to build trust with one another.
Yeah, isn't that manipulative? Trying to build trust.
Yeah.
I think manipulation's fine.
Is it-
I've
is it-
switched,
is it-
and I
is
think
that-
manipulating
do you think-
people is
Do you
fine.
think that's accurate though? Is it about building trust?
No, they just run parallel, and then your mind just jumps to this negative version of stuff, like putting a good foot forward and showing them respect by putting your best self forward.
It's showing sensitivity. I think,
Yeah,
is what
but
it
then
is.
your mind just goes to this negative way of thinking, like, oh, you're manipulating this person. You don't always say please and thank you. Sometimes you stink, and you're whatever, and then you just go back and forth.
Yeah.
Am I manipulating this person, or am I within the wheelhouse of who I am as a person? Generally,
Right.
I'm not going way out of.
No.
What makes me think about this, I think what started this thought in my mind was from reading a Maxim magazine when I was like a teenager. You get it for like the celebrities that are like half naked, and then you read the articles, and some of them were fine, and then a bunch of them are really creepy or whatever. And one of them is like, how to pretend you're an astronaut. So you go to the bar, I guess it's humor, but I was like, do people actually do this? Like where you pretend you're an astronaut and they're like, here's like some phrases that you can say, or, a way to stand that astronaut stand, and you can trick this person so you can get laid or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think
that
you're
was
supposed to trick
No,
people.
yeah. I think that would have been
Humor.
a product of the time. I think it was part humor, but I feel like at that time it was more acceptable to be manipulative
Yeah.
or just very dishonest.
But I think it's like,
Something about that
over the top
magazine,
is,
too. The magazine was a product of its time.
yeah,
I don't know.
everything like not a lot of stuff ages well. Like it's of the time, and then it becomes cringy. Like
Yeah.
most things become cringy.
Yeah.
It's funny because I liked the magazine, and I would go through, and they would have some cool stuff or whatever, like some survival stuff or some cool story or whatever, and then like the editorials. And then one day my friend was like, why do you read that How to Be a Man magazine? I was like, How to Be a Man magazine? And I was like, after that, I'm like, yeah, I hate this. And this one thing made me like hate it, whatever.
But do you think if people were their authentic self all the time, that no one would ever get along? Or we have a certain code in society for how to act.
I think the authentic self is.
We do that in public.
Yeah.
And then the more you get to know someone, the more you put those things down.
Right. I think it's like a range of like, you can be polite. Yeah.
You got the indoor rules and you got the outdoor
Indoor
rules.
rules and outdoor rules. Yeah. I like that. I think it's like a spectrum. Like, I think it's wrong to say, you're the shittiest you could be. That's your authentic self.
Well,
I don't think that's true.
I kind of like
I feel like that's what it is, but
I kind of like
think
that
that's
idea.
wrong. I think that's
but I don't
depressive,
live by
negative thinking. That's probably what sparks off all my depression, is like thinking about the worst version of myself as being the authentic.
Well, no,
version
not
of myself.
not the worst version, but maybe the most socially unacceptable version.
Is your true self.
Yeah, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
I think that's not a good jump off point for your mindset. I think I probably am using that as a jump off point. I think that's.
But socially unacceptable does that mean bad?
I mean, you're not always social, so like, what socially unacceptable, like being dirty and lying around in your underwear and just fucking making sounds. You're not being social.
Sure.
So it's acceptable in that situation when you're doing that. If you're doing that in a social situation, then it's socially unacceptable. If you're doing that in your room, like, just different hats for different rooms.
Different hats for different rooms.
I'm just looking at myself as like, the worst version of myself in the, like, at a wedding. That's who I am as a person. A piece of shit who's in like a high social function being garbage. I don't know how I got this representation of myself. anyways, this is turning into a therapy session. So
No, to me, it's a social commentary.
yeah, or try to figure out how to navigate the world. Yeah, so I feel like it's on the spectrum. I never like when people, get dressed up and go to the bar and like, dance and like, they do a little bit of lying and fibbing, like about someone's like posturing about how much money that you have, like, first impression shit, like, oh, this person's, I'm wearing all my designer shit that I have, one set of, to go out, and I'm pretending that this is like represents my income. But sometimes you're just like, this is I squirreled away and I got this nice stuff and I'm going out and I'm trying to look nice. Part of me thinks it's like that, and then part of me is like, dude, you're just fucking tricking people.
Yeah, I think it's.
So I just don't go out.
Yeah, no, but I don't go out either. But
I never liked that going to bars and like, go dance, or like I don't want to dance. I would go to raves and dance, whatever, but I would dance independently for myself. I enjoyed it. I don't like the fucking peacocking and the like. But
the bar scene, I feel like is I feel like everyone who's doing it is sort of aware that this is what's being done.
True. That is the rule. Is that like, hey, we're all pretending we're better than we are.
They all kind of enjoy that.
True.
I think.
I guess ladies are getting done up as well. Or...
Yeah, it's like make believe.
Yeah, it's
like,
such a weird thing.
Like Mr. Dress Up.
It's like, how do you find a good partner? Like, well, you see how good at faking life you are, and then you choose them based on that.
But nobody's meeting life partners in bars, are
I
they?
think so.
They're all meeting them at work.
Well, you meet them, and then you like actually like them. You're like, well, our origin story is no good, so fuck it.
Do you know any people who met at a bar?
I feel like I've heard of stuff. I don't really remember a lot.
Ask me if I know any people. I don't know any people.
Do you remember people? I don't remember everybody's meet cute that I don't think I know anyone's fucking origin story of their relationship.
No, I don't really either.
I don't have the mental bandwidth.
I can't think of it at the moment.
Too busy worrying about the world, not
too busy forgetting their birthdays.
Yeah, I don't remember anybody's birthday. Like how they met and like fell in love and shit. I'm like, cool for you.
Yeah, no, but it's good to keep in mind because I'm pretty sure. If I had to guess, I would say most people meet at work.
Yeah, but then it feels like it's inappropriate to like meet at work. But yeah. Like as you get older and stuff, you're not in high school. Like high school would be your work, and then you transfer like high school and then college. Or
what about those people in high school who would date people
like,
from?
Well, you can meet people in high school. You can meet people in college. But you better not meet anybody at work.
Yeah.
You better have that deal signed by the time you get
No, I think it's socially acceptable. But what about those people in high school who would date someone from another high school?
That's some rivalry starting shit right there. That's what started the Bloods and Crips.
Yeah.
No. But they were two different schools that were their school colors, blue and red.
There was a school called the Bloods?
No. Their school colors are their colors.
Their school colors are red
and blue.
And who are they?
The Bloods and Crips.
And what schools are they from?
I don't know the schools. You have to watch.
But the Bloods came from one school.
Yeah.
And the Crips came from another school.
Yeah. And they're young kids that started like really young.
What year?
Was it started? I feel like the 80s, but I don't know. I don't remember how everybody's romantic origin stories start.
Not even the time.
Yeah, I don't know times and dates and stuff. So tricking people, you're allowed to do it to a certain degree. Okay, let's say your friend says, let's go out. You are allowed to use anything you already own to trick people that night. Mm-hmm. And that's it. You can't be buying anything new.
Yeah.
I think that's acceptable.
You can
utilize anything in your
I say you can buy it, but you can't return it.
Okay, you must own it.
You must keep it for at least for the duration of your relationship with that.
You don't have to keep it.
Person.
You just can't return it. You can't undo it. You can throw it in the garbage because people throw shit away all the time. I just want to be official with these rules. You don't have to keep it for any duration of time. You just cannot return it.
You just cannot you can't get your money back.
Yeah. You can't undo it.
I have to think about it.
Okay. But you can utilize anything at your disposal. You can borrow one object.
I think you can do whatever it takes, but you have to keep it up.
You cannot do whatever it takes.
No,
that's the whole thing.
No.
Oh, you have to maintain it forever?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. That's a loophole.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah, if you like wear hats, you wear hats.
If you say you're an astronaut, you got to become an astronaut.
Yeah. If you dye your hair, you have to keep it dyed forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
No roots showing.
I can accept these rules. I'm trying to think of what I have in my apartment to make myself look good. I always think about like, what the number one factor that is getting people like laid besides like the way that they look is fucking shirts. Like there's people are getting laid over t-shirts. Like in like high school, told them the guy wears that guy's got a FUBU shirt, or it's like he's got a funny hooked on bong hits work for me.
People get laid in high school?
I've heard.
I heard too. Yeah. I thought it was an urban legend.
Yeah. His teachers have sex students mostly
because they like their shirts.
Yeah. Sweet shirt.
Is that the
It's actually a sweatshirt. Fuck, what does the line always say? People are like, oh, they say sweet shirt, and I'm like, I think you mean sweatshirt, and actually this is a t-shirt. That's one of those stupid fucking things I always say. It's always to Marco. People come up and say sweet shirt is not really a common phrase, but he says it, and I just say that same line.
What's the other one that we did today? Idiot?
Oh,
I said you were addicted.
And I said, you're a dickhead.
You're a dickhead.
Wait, so where were we on that?
We were
on the spectrum?
Determining
how to be a man magazine. I think we're wrapped all that up.
Determining the rules of
lying to people
lying to
have
people.
Sex
with
them.
Well, I don't know. I think club thing is.
I just don't like bars.
I really don't think that people are going to meet partners there. I think everyone is okay with the subterfuge.
I think
of the nightclub scene. It's part of the whole thing.
You're just out there trying to get laid, wearing a cool shirt, buttons on it.
Well, they don't always button it up. Okay. Does it annoy you when you see like a group of guys together?
In general, yeah, I fucking hate it. They're gangs, Bloods and Crips, or white supremacists. Those are the groups of people
with their white shirts.
I don't know how to respond to that group. I assume it's about to break out into a brawl.
No, I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
sort of brotherly love.
Yes,
but I don't like seeing a group of guys hitting the town, or a group of girls. I don't.
Oh, I see. They're girl gangs or dude gangs.
Just going out and hitting the clubs. For some reason, I find it really obnoxious.
Yeah, I think it's just club culture. I don't like the button-ups and the wingtip.
What's a wingtip?
I think it's a type of shoe. Fancy.
What makes it a wingtip?
Well, I'm the cobbler. The wingtip.
The wing.
But we used to go to raves when I was younger, and I liked that because there was no fucking dress code. Everybody dressed differently or whatever.
Nobody wore t-shirts.
Yeah, people were fucking... Yeah, and then you get laid based on your t-shirt.
Did you ever get laid based on your t-shirt?
I feel like I might have, but
you don't remember what shirt it was. Why aren't you wearing it now?
Yeah, I just wear it. This is the shirt I wear all the time. I've had it for 40 years. It's got to be like in high school. In high school, you're like we'll meet a girl. Like they'll like you because of your clothes, and mostly the heavy lifting is done by the shirt.
Yeah, I still feel that way.
Yeah. A shirt can get you laid.
You
can buy a ticket to getting laid. It's called the fucking shirt.
Forget the menu.
Yeah.
Forget the
Some people say haircut. Some people say
it's a t-shirt.
Shoes. It's the t-shirt. And the shoes, maybe.
I always get compliments from guys on my Nirvana shirt.
Yeah. Go for it, bud.
Yeah.
I gotta return this shirt. It's the wrong bait for them. Fuck what we were saying. Shirts get you laid. Getting laid from shirts. So whatever. In high school, we'd go to raves, and I liked that there was no dress code. There was 4 people. Some people had money because they were fucking drug dealers. But I just liked it. And then some other people were like, other groups were one, because we're from a small town and we'd go down to a small group to go to raves, and there was only a small group of us. And then other people that we knew, or other people just in general, as they got to a certain age, we want to go to the city too. And they just started going to clubs instead. And then they're like, hey, you want to come to the club? And I just thought it would be more like a rave, just like at a place, a more permanent place.
You didn't
like a venue.
You didn't expect people to be wearing makeup.
They were like, oh, do you have
Should talk
button
to
up?
this.
Do they have a button up shirt? Do you have a button up shirt for dress code? Like, dress code? Like, oh yeah, dress code. You got to wear like fucking dress shoes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have no interest in going to this place. Like,
Yeah.
dressing up like I'm going to an office and then like unbuttoning it a little bit. What the fuck is that?
That's hilarious.
Who? I know. I'm like, that did not appeal to me at all.
I never even
And
considered
then
that.
like drinks are like expensive, and then you gotta buy drinks for them and just dancing to other girls. That sounds like a fucking nightmare.
But
I have no interest in
the
that.
volume is the same, right?
I don't know if the music's the same.
Did you ever end up going?
No, I've been to like my phase of like going to parties, raves, or whatever. If you want to be Oprah about it, call it a rave. Parties.
Oprah would be parties.
No, we called it parties. We didn't want to call it a rave because that sounded like something Oprah would say, like taking ecstasy tablets and feeling euphoric at your rave parties.
Oh, like your rave parties, yeah.
We just called it a party because we're a little cooler than Oprah.
Yeah.
Well, we were. She surpassed us. But so
That's debatable.
yeah. Well, so we come down to the what was the question again? Oh, at the period that I would go to like raves and stuff. You wouldn't know, you'd have the flyer and you wouldn't know where the venue is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd find out like from on forums or the ticket place or wherever you bought them. You could still buy tickets either at the door or like at a couple rave stores. And then you wouldn't know where the venue would be, and then it would get booked. And then you'd find out like the night of or the day before, and it would be generally one of these 10 places or whatever. And they would rent the venue. But there are party venues generally, and then you'd go. And then over time, like at the period, you start just knowing what the venue was. And sometimes the venue was like a nightclub, but like a promoter had taken over the nightclub for the night. So it was a rave, like one of these party promoting companies that would just be at a random venue started just booking clubs. So I would go to a club, but like on a rave night. So there's no dress code or anything like that.
So you never did?
I never did the dress code thing.
Yeah.
I hate that. I don't even have what it takes to like dress up to go to a wedding properly.
Yeah, neither do I.
I do,
but it's too big.
Yeah, I mean, I don't own a suit. I think I had one for court. Yeah, I need like a suit for court, funerals, and weddings, I guess. Some sort of. I'm too poor to own a suit. I've never had the financial.
So what do you do when you go to a wedding?
To buy.
You never have to go to a wedding?
Kind of like button up or.
You don't wear a jacket?
Something cheap. I don't have a jacket.
You have Dickies.
Yeah, but I don't think you have to wear work pants.
Dickies?
Workwear.
It's like
Dockers?
Dockers?
We'll wear a cotton docker, yeah. And like some button up or like a polo shirt or something.
Dickies are workwear?
Oh, yeah.
Like a black pants?
They're workwear. They're made out of like polyester or something.
Yeah.
Waxed canvas.
Yeah, but
Dickies are workwear.
But it's black. I think it's acceptable.
No, it has a sheen to it. We can't. It's not the right sheen.
It's not the right sheen.
It's a sheen, and you can have shiny pants or sheen pants.
You need a sheen.
Yeah.
Well, you don't need a sheen, but a sheen is
preferred. Yeah, or a crease. Okay. I hated creases when I was younger, and I would try to like iron them out of pants, like Dickies and stuff. And then now I'm like, fuck, I like a crease.
Dickies,
and it's only a matter of time before I start like pleats. What's they called? Pleats? Pleated pants?
Where's the pleat? Where's the crease in a Dickie?
At the front? Yeah.
Okay, so that's like a dress pant.
Yeah, you could, but it's the wrong
It's
sheen.
just the wrong sheen.
Yeah.
It has all the elements.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah.
But I tried to iron them out. I hated them. It just felt like it was too preppy or something.
Yeah.
It was like a zoot suit or something. And then I hated those, and I always hated pleats, but now I like the crease in pants, and I might like pleat suit.
What's a pleat?
They're like the folded part at the top of pants.
How is it different than a crease?
They're two or three like fold overs. They sew them so that your pants, I think, can balloon out more. if you don't have them, then this dictates how wide your pants can be.
Some sort of
me
sort of manual.
Yeah, pant manual.
Pantual.
No. There used to have like workout pants that people would wear, and they're kind of pleated, and they like velcroed in the middle, I think, and they look like hammer pants. They just remind me of like hammer pants, which I fucking hate. I hate drop crotches. I hate.
Were you alive for hammer pants?
Yeah, it just looked like someone shit themselves.
You must have been a little child.
I was a kid, yeah. And this one kid, I think that I went to school with, I saw him at the mall. His name is some Jean Paul, I think, or something.
How many people in your class out of 25 people had hammer pants?
No one at school had them. This Jean Paul kid, who's there temporarily, he's not. I think that's his
Jean
name.
Paul is his real name?
Yeah.
Or is it a pseudonym?
Yeah. He can't. I don't think he was out of school long. They must have like ridiculed him like he was French. So he left. Or danced out. But I saw him at the mall wearing these hammer pants. I'm like, oh, he doesn't wear those to school. He has outfits that you
interesting.
wear. Yeah, outside of school.
Yeah.
It wasn't a uniform school or anything, but I guess he was too afraid to wear them at school.
Didn't that make you respect him more?
That he was afraid?
No, the fact
generally I don't respect or that he was cool after school.
The fact that
it was business at school.
The fact that the fact that there's more to him than meets the eye.
Lying. He's lying to get laid. So I don't know. It was just like grade 3 or 4.
And he was in his 20s.
Yeah, Jean Paul chased him out of the school. So the story's a lot darker than it is. I saw one in the hammer pants. I'm like, oh, I thought I didn't really know I didn't get what it was. I thought he had like a diaper on, and it's like I saw him in the mall. I was like, oh, he has problems, and like I don't know how he's like holding it in at school, but it seems that he's wearing a diaper now at school.
Why did it look like a diaper? I don't understand.
They're so big and shit. And plus, you're a kid. They don't make hammer pants for kids, so like you're like.
So he was wearing adult pants.
I guess.
But hammer pants are wide on the leg. They're not big in the.
In my mind, they were hammer pants. It was around that time, and they just got huge.
And so it looked like a giant diaper.
Yeah.
It looked like a diaper that went down to his ankles.
Yeah.
It didn't look like he was wearing a diaper underneath pants.
Well, in your mind, when you're a kid,
diaper.
everything's bigger and smaller. Like, it's hyper. It's surreal. Like, I don't say, a diaper wouldn't lay like that. It's a lot. Like, in my mind, anything big in your pants, that's a giant diaper. And there's no like, but technically the pants would lie a little flatter on that diaper.
There's no reasoning involved.
It's a big diaper with a fucking safety pin in it.
So because of that, you don't like pleated pants.
To me, it always just looks like you shit yourself. This is not a hot take. This is what they look like.
Yeah, I still don't know what they look like.
Well, they have like drop crotch pants as well that had a resurgence a while ago. Fucking Rick Owens, some designer needs. I hate it. I fucking hate it.
The low crotch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
Drop crotch.
What was that? Like
Justin Bieber, Rick Owens.
But they sat at the waist.
Yeah, and they're just like the crotch is lowered.
Yeah, how long did that last for? I'll say like 7 years.
7?
Yeah.
I feel like it was
from beginning.
It's hard to tell because I go back and forth
end.
from the city to a rural area. So my time frame of fashion is different. So like it's hitting here. And then I go spend some time in a rural area. I'm like, it's still around.
You need to be able to divide all that. Yeah.
And it's just gotten there.
I feel like from beginning till end, because I haven't seen them in a little while.
Yeah.
I want to say it lasted 7 years.
But I feel like if you're in like Southeast Asia and stuff like that, and you get these pants, that they're fine. They're appropriate in that area. They like kind of have like some folder for monk looking.
Yeah, they are kind of monkish.
I think that's fine. But if you try to modernize it and westernize it and stuff, no. I don't like it. I like the westernization of everything except for that. That's off the list.
What else like the westernization of?
Everything.
Like what? I don't know.
Like tacos. I like Tex-Mex tacos.
Oh yeah, you do.
I like the other ones too, the Mexican ones. But Tex-Mex to me is like, I will not stop eating them. Like,
until they're gone.
Until I'm in pain.
Oh, so you will stop.
I guess, yeah. I will stop eventually, but it's like at a point of pain. There's a couple objects, like chicken fries, that I'll eat them until I'm in pain. Like, there's no stopping. I'm like one of those kids that have the disease that have to lock up the fridge. with
Yeah.
chicken fries and Tex-Mex tacos.
I haven't heard of that disease.
I don't know what it's called, but like these kids don't know when they're full.
Obesity.
It's the actual medical version. It's not just being lazy. They can't tell that
are
they're
they
full.
skinny?
No, they're fat.
They are fat.
Well, it depends on their parents have to
Depends.
control them.
Oh.
But they put padlocks on the fridge and like lock up the
Did you see this on Jenny Jones?
There's some sort of trashy TV.
Ricky Lake?
Ricky Lake is not trashy TV.
She isn't?
Yeah, it is. But she's awesome. Ricky Lake's awesome.
Why was she awesome?
Talk to the Hand, that was her.
She said talk to the
And
hand.
she was in like John Waters movies and stuff like that.
Who?
John Waters?
Oh, John Waters.
Yeah. And
She was? She was an actress? He made like art films, didn't he?
yes.
I
Art films.
never pornography?
No, they're art films. Or just shitty films. It's hard to tell if it's.
How come how did he get famous? Because nobody's ever seen his movies.
There's a lot, and they were like underground at the time. I think a lot of people went to theaters. Like at that time, there wasn't like endless amounts of content, so it probably was being consumed at a higher rate during that time. He is, I believe, openly gay, which is like
That's the
at
big
that
deal. Yeah.
This is, I don't know. This isn't from research. This is me shooting from the hip.
No, it all sounded.
And then,
I think it's
We
the.
had this stuff with Divine, Divine, like the drag queen or whatever.
No.
Big dude, fucking bald, high. You would know them like to see
Sure.
them. That was like a character that did.
But he was just- he was like,
Hairspray, which I think was big.
He made Hairspray.
I think Hairspray was.
The movie? The play?
I don't know if it was a movie first, then a play, and then a movie again. There's like two versions of it.
But it sounds like I'm realizing that he was a the glitterati,
man.
the glitterati, a socialite.
No, I don't think so.
He wasn't?
They were poor. He just made some shit.
He wasn't a
Just
socialite.
like as he like reached his status, I think people like wanted. He was like a cultural figure that people wanted around and stuff.
Sort of like a Warhol, because nobody ever saw Warhol's movies.
Yeah, they just like as like an artist who's cool,
Just somehow.
token artist.
Because where would Warhol have been around, like in day to day?
I feel like it was.
Where
the
would
same
you have
time
seen
period.
him? Yeah, I know, but like we know him today to be this huge figure.
I think he was big in his time. That's like he was commercially successful in his time.
I think he was, but who's like a modern comparison? Because you don't.
To Warhol,
Yeah,
I think like
Banksy.
I guess
Yeah.
I guess I would say Banksy. It's funny because I like Warhol and a lot of people don't like him, and I get why they wouldn't. And I bet you in that time,
I mean,
wouldn't
he's like
him.
the most beloved artist in history.
People fucking hate him.
No,
Well, I hate him. I've heard of other people. I think a lot of people hate him. They're like, it's not art. They didn't like him in his time. A lot of it as well. They're like, oh, it's not art. It's bullshit.
I feel like these days he's universally
Yeah, but
loved and respected.
I think that's what you get these hate groups. I like him, and then I hate him, but I hate him because he's so approachable. You go to fucking IKEA and there's like Warhol shit.
It's not his fault.
I know, so I don't blame him. So that's why I go back to liking him.
Oh, okay.
It's not a full hatred, but I hate that aspect where he's going, you see these 4-panel fucking glossy printouts that are in some framing store, like some Warhol shit.
But that's part of what makes him so good is that you can just do whatever he's like. His work is so easy to look at and then to copy, and like it's accessible.
Yeah, I don't like the approachableness. I think.
Why not?
If he did it, I don't. When I was younger, I don't mind people doing it as an art form. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
make
talking about.
action figures and I do this and everything's hyper consumable and stuff like that. I think that's kind of cool. But it's just other people are doing it. I don't know. It's just like it's the kiddie pool into the art world or whatever. It's just gatekeeping, like like grow up around skateboards and like punk rock, whatever. You can't be a part of this. You whatever. It's just that.
But it's the opposite. It's the opposite of that. I see. You're gatekeeping
I have that
art.
is in my mind, so I do
So
that. That's my reaction.
So who's your?
That's the same as I don't like Banksy. It's like that. I don't.
Right.
Like he has okay stuff, and then I like his stuff at a certain time. He's done some clever shit, and then there's like this.
You would have hated the Impressionists too, then.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe whoever is like.
Because the Impressionists were like completely derided by the institution of art.
Yeah,
They were hated.
Well, then I would like them.
No, then you would hate them.
No,
because you were gatekeeping art. You're saying that this kiddie shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they saw impressions.
Because I like people that do like shit, like punk rock or whatever is like stripped down rock and roll. So people are, that's not rock and roll. There's no fucking flaming guitar riffs.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would be on the side of like, oh, I like that they're breaking down this institution of rock or whatever.
Sure. But in the visual art world, you're the opposite.
Yeah. I'm temperamental.
Yeah.
I make decisions based on nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, I think Banks is a good comparison because like people have like a love-hate relationship for him as well.
Yeah.
But he's done some clever stuff. I think it's pretty funny. I'm like, I don't like any artist that if I ever have money and this time and we're motivated to make art, I know I would make just garbage. And whenever I see anybody who makes something that I would make, I just, I cringe at it. There's a bunch of artists that I'm like, I'm so in line with that person. And I know if I had money, I probably would have made that piece. And I hate it because
So what do you expect from artists?
I don't know. Not much.
Something, well, it seems like something.
I will like them for a bit and then I just start turning on everybody. A lot of bands and stuff, I'll like one or two albums and I just start not liking them.
What about that Stephen Hirsch guy that I sent you?
Who's that?
He's like a photographer. I sent you his pictures. I think they're like black and white street pictures, like kind of gritty, but like really polished, like with a flash or something, like an off-camera flash. Oh. And then he had all these drawings.
I can't recall. But there was this.
But you said they were awesome. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I probably did. It sounds like I would like it.
Yeah.
What you're describing sounds like stuff I like.
No, but yeah, the art, the paintings were different. They were like really they're kind of garish and simple.
Once I start seeing the artist, I don't like it.
In what way?
Like you can start to see their style, or they do this as their thing. Like I like this Richie Culver. I don't know. He's just an artist who does like ignorant paintings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just words and crappy dogs running and shit. And I really liked it at first, and then now I just like see it. I'm like, I hate this. It's garbage.
Because it looks like a formula to you.
Yeah, it's a formula now. I can see the artist's hand. I don't fucking like it.
Oh, I like that.
I like seeing the artist's hand like in the traditional way where you can see like, if it's glass blower and you can see there's bubbles and stuff. I like that. Like where you can see the humanism.
That's what I like about.
It's a formula.
That's what I like about Warhol, is that he's showing you pretty much how to do it.
He's doing it like ironically. That's why I like it.
What's ironic about it?
He knows it's formulaic or whatever, and he's doing it on purpose. These other people are just like, this thing works, and now they're stuck in this thing, and I just
it works because it looks good.
Yeah, it's aesthetically pleasing, but it also knows that it's fake art or just like.
Yeah, do you think it's a gimmick?
But he knows it's a gimmick. I think if you're self-aware and it's done intentionally, and that is part of the piece. If people didn't like him because of that, I like him because of that. I like these artists, like consumerism, is the idea and nostalgia. Like you can make it, and he doesn't necessarily make everything. Like it's made in a factory, and like I like all that stuff as like it's like a fuck you to the art world. Or whatever.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't like him because of that. I don't like it because what people have done with his stuff. They've Ed Hardy'd his stuff. Mm-hmm. They've taken like an artist and just fucking
Frida Kahlo on a tote bag.
I don't like Frida Kahlo's work at all. Which is, I'm supposed to because she's a woman. Like whatever. I just don't think her work is good. She seems cool as a cultural figure. Mm-hmm. I like Selma Hayek, but I went to see her work on it. It just sucks. It looks like when you go to me, it looks like when you go into a high school, you see a display case and the mandatory art that they have to put up of the students. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, from a technical point of view.
It doesn't even have to be technical. It just like it seems like it's trying to be technical. It just isn't. It's like in this, you can be shitty at art and have like some weird point of view or
Basquiat.
Well, I think he actually has a talented hand, and it makes it look like. But there's people who I think like will make stuff that don't have talent at all.
I thought his appeal was that he drew like a child.
Yeah, but I think he's very good at doing it. I can't explain. Like he can.
So is my nephew.
I can draw something. I can't think of something and draw it. I can't. My hand is so weak that I cannot produce what I want to produce. I produce something, but it's not what I'm.
So you think everything that he's trying to do is purposeful?
And I think there's a lot of artists who like can control their hand basically.
Yeah.
And like take their vision and put it on whatever, which is like very fucking hard to do. You can practice that and you get good at it, I guess. I can't do that. I don't think you need to be like that as an artist. I don't care. But she seems like she's trying to do something that's like very well done. It just cannot. If you're making ignorant shit stuff and just whatever, then I don't care. But if you're trying so hard, I don't know.
I don't think she's just a lady making self-portraits. I don't think there's anything to it.
I don't think there's anything to it as well. It sucks. And people they're like it's a point of contention. Like, oh, well, you don't like women as a whole, or that she's a feminist icon. So like, oh, you don't like.
Yeah, I think that would be the.
It's an unpopular opinion to say like, oh, I don't like her art because it's shit. Well, I don't like so much art. I think most of it is so fucking boring.
Yeah. No, she's got appeal to me. She keeps her eyebrows.
No, I think she's a cool person.
Yeah, so that's the appeal of the art.
It's separating the art from the artist, right? I don't like the art and I like the artist. It's the opposite of the Michael Jackson licking buttholes.
Yeah. And
liking his music and hating him. I hate her stuff, but like her.
Yeah.
That seems wrong though. You're like, oh, she looks cool. I like her. I like this woman artist because she
wouldn't even know that she looked cool if she didn't paint her pictures. That's her.
Promoted their ads for her look.
It's just it's
look at me, I'm beautiful. These are ads for her beauty.
Well,
it seems so sexist, but
no, it's not for her. It's not for her beauty. It's a sexist person. I think it's all for the unibrow.
Yeah, it seems like at that time it would be an undesirable thing, and that she decided to keep it, which is very easily removable.
She decided to keep it, and
even though it could be detrimental,
and put it.
Yeah, it's like
make it into art. Well, not make it into art, but
Yeah, but you could arguably somebody probably could have said to get rid of it, and you'd be more successful or whatever.
No, but she wouldn't have been more successful.
No, it would have been bad advice.
Yeah,
but I think she probably got that advice. Somebody had to have said, "Dude, you should separate those two."
Yeah.
And people will think you're more beautiful and therefore more compelling.
Yeah, I still don't get why you don't like the art though, because but you like her as a person.
Yeah,
that's what the art is. The art is just her as a person.
I can like a person. I like my friends that are musicians, and then they'll make music, and I'm like, I do not like this. They're separate.
Yeah, the art and the artist all we know about
trying to figure about separating the art from the artist. They've just been looking at it the wrong way. Like, you got to find an artist that you like whose art you don't like.
But in her case, it's not like, you've seen her interviews or anything.
Yeah, I don't know anything about her.
You only know her paintings.
And the way she looks.
Well, you only know how she looks.
She's a cultural figure.
But you only know she looks because of her paintings, right?
Sorry?
You only know how she looks because of her paintings.
And I guess depictions of her and maybe a photograph.
Yeah, maybe.
Uh-huh.
But, so if you like what you see is the paintings, that means you like her and her paintings.
No. I would like it's not a mirror. It's like
that's her. That's her self-expression. She is the painting. In this case, I cannot separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, I separate them. I like her. It's funny, these are the two reasons why I like her. She looks cool.
Yeah.
I like her for her looks.
Yeah.
Which is sexist.
It's not sexist.
But I also like that she is like an icon for women and empowers women.
I don't see how liking her for her looks is sexist. Her looks.
She looks cool. I don't like her art.
Yeah, but how she looks is, it's.
What's a different metric? It's not. Are you valuable as a human being based on your beauty?
But how she looks is wrong. You're just talking about like what, her bone structure.
She just looks cool. I don't know. And I like how she kept the unibrow.
Yeah, but I'm
not a fan of unibrows, but when people utilize them, I'm like, fuck yeah. And then I'm attracted to them.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be sexually, like I'm attracted to their charisma or their...
Yeah, that's my point. It's not sexist. It's.
I think people will...
I think you like...
like an untouchable...
I think you like how she looks.
If you say anything other than she's a well-rounded, great person, that some imaginary person I've been having an interview with will be mad at me.
But I think you like how she looks because she expresses who she is in her appearance.
Yeah, she's based.
Based?
Yeah, authentic.
Based?
Based. It's a modern term that white supremacists use.
Is someone here?
Yeah, there's stores back there.
What are they? What's being wheeled?
Clothing. It's a rolling rack of clothes. There's a bunch of stores back there. Like they have their little pockets, and then they bring stuff to and from the actual store.
The storage.
Back storage.
Storage.
And they can hear us all the time, whatever. So we're in here just talking about anything. Well, not anything. There's a bunch of stuff I'm not allowed to talk about. Not talk about because
Now or in general?
there. Generally, to the right people, I'll say anything about anything. If I find it's a safe space, I'll say whatever I want.
Yeah.
And it's not like that there's bad stuff that I want to say, it's just that I can be more clunky. You can sort stuff out while you're talking. You don't have to. Certain people, you better have your fucking ducks in a row if you're gonna say an opinion politically or anything like that. Yeah. It can't be a sketch pad that we're just saying, whatever. Like, if you're gonna say this, you better have proof, like.
Because certain people are touchier than others.
Yeah, but like I don't think about anything like that. There's nothing that I believe in that is like that. I don't have my ducks in a row about any belief. I don't have really. My beliefs are malleable. So like if you just say something, whatever, then people like get so angry about it, and like I'm just working stuff out in my mind. We're just talking, whatever. I like the exploratory part of talking to somebody.
Yeah.
If I can't explore thoughts or talking to somebody, I just don't like that person. Mm-hmm. If you want to talk about people's only value to me, yeah, their true value to me is that if I can talk to them openly about whatever. Mm-hmm. And then if I can have sex with them.
Yeah.
They're competing. Your aesthetic value, and you can bring to me.
You find that those are in conflict with each other?
No. I can have sex with people I have. What do you mean?
Like if you can't do the first thing, does it impede the second thing?
No. Like if I can have sex with, you can have sex with somebody like based on aesthetic for the first time. You get a couple rounds out of that.
Yeah.
Longevity, if you need to maintain a relationship with them, to continue having those experiences, then there has to be some sort of glue. And if you can't talk to that person or don't have anything in common.
Yeah. Well, what if you just keep buying shirts that they like? Yeah,
but then that's you doing all the work, and you'll be like, I'm just paying for sex now at this point.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I can just choose different options if I can get over the phone call. Yeah, in my mind, you phone prostitutes. Sex workers, it's all on the phone. I feel like they would be a flaky bunch. Like you'd like make an appointment and they just wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be very hard to like get a down to earth person who's going to come and show up at the right time.
You don't think that they're professional?
Well, there's just, because it's on the fringes of society, the professionalism isn't like people who are unprofessional are not weeded out. If it was all legal and up, the unprofessional people would be weeded out. Because it's underground, it's just like buying like drugs when they're illegal, like you don't know what the fuck you're gonna get.
Yeah.
If it's legal, you basically know I'm gonna get this every time.
Right.
That's how companies compete with one another, by being consistent. That's like a major thing that makes you go to McDonald's, not some random ass hamburger place all the time.
Yeah.
Because they're going to deliver this thing whether it's great or not.
Yeah.
Consistency. The inconsistency of the sex work market, I believe, is the downfall to lots of professional prostitutes.
Yeah.
Who carry themselves with the poise of Frida Kahlo.
Yeah. They're not getting a fair shake because of all these
fly-by-nighters.
Yeah.
There's probably so much truth.
And it's And it's everyone's loss.
I went to school for marketing. I have my logo. I'm incorporated. And then all these people
Prostitutes don't have
that
logos.
show up in time. Not now, they don't.
They used to?
No,
Or they
but
should.
they should. If they were incorporated in like
Yeah.
whatever, then they would have logos.
Yeah.
I think someone probably do. Yeah, and that's more design work for people, marketing,
Yeah, it would be good for
prostitution
For everyone.
as a whole. This is
Everyone.
They're prostitutes.
yeah.
I don't know why.
Who the
Designers.
designers.
Designers are prostitutes now.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't have my ducks in a row, but but they just are.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Safe space here.
We're talking in the same space that we're put out into the world, and then
I'm
like,
okay
the
with
5 people are going to see it on the people I work with.
I'm okay with the designers or prostitute statement.
Yeah, that's fine. All this other
I'd
stuff.
go as far as to call everyone a prostitute.
You exploit yourself. Prostitution is seen as like a form of exploitation. Yeah. People consider all exploitation wrong, which I disagree with. All work for other people is a form of exploitation. Everyone's a prostitute.
Yeah,
Exploiting something it has negative connotations, but it not necessarily negative. It's the same as like saying utilizing. I'm utilizing this skill that I have.
Isn't prostituting is sort of like what is it? It's just like selling out, right? Isn't
You think
it?
it's like a sellout thing?
Maybe.
Like in the 90s, people would fucking prostitute, you sellout motherfucker. Like
Well,
grunge and prostitution.
Well, you have you have the term prostitute,
Okay.
and then like you say the next one down would be whore.
Well, you're trying to be derogatory
Someone-
towards a prostitute.
To call them a whore, but you,
Somebody maybe who gives it
but
away
you
for
have
free.
but no, but people, you can call anyone a whore,
Yeah.
and the whore would be a sellout. So
Somebody,
doesn't that
like
make
you'd call a
prostitute-
sellout a whore.
So wouldn't you call a prostitute a sellout?
I think they're all in that like wheelhouse where you're just like you don't like what somebody is doing, so you use a derogatory term for them. And like
I
being a
suppose,
whore
yeah,
is
yeah,
like
that's
a
probably
derogatory term for somebody who does business in a way that you don't think they should.
Yeah,
It's gatekeeping on business.
yeah,
And you're like, you're a whore. You give your shit away for free. You fucking,
yeah.
make a market, and then you turn on the.
They're just trying to degrade that thing to equate it with prostitution because prostitution is bad.
Low.
Yeah,
I had this take. My thought on prostitution, like, and I've had this opinion for like a long time. Some people agree or disagree, or they'll change. They'll agree. They'll disagree and then agree. One person I was talking to, about it, I was going to write a thesis for them or whatever, and I'm not very good at writing. Because they thought, all sex work is like exploitation towards women. They thought, as like a feminist, that being a sex worker is wrong. I disagreed.
yeah,
I believe that, like, in our society, like, generally we have like a free market, and like you try to find your way into the market or whatever, and certain groups and certain people have advantages in the market or whatever, and men, their advantage in the market is that they can do labor. Like that's a small edge that generally men have an edge on women. It doesn't even have to be physically, a lot of it's physicality, but also is the disposability of men. Like people care less about if they get hurt or whatever.
but don't you think that most people agree that prostitution should be legal?
They do now. But before, a lot of people didn't. They think that it's like exploitation of women. There's a lot of people who think that prostitution is exploitation of women.
They still do?
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
People you talk to?
I think generally the people that I talk to they think that it's empowering.
Yeah.
But it's still, even like I think legally, when they say, this is how many people are sex trafficked, they consider all sex workers as people who are being sex trafficked. That they're, even if they say in their mind that, I'm doing this by choice, they're saying, no, you're being manipulated in some capacity to do this. Obviously heinous acts.
Right.
Well, nobody would do this if they were of sound mind.
Yeah.
So in the free market, whatever, if you want to overcome your poverty and stuff like that, like you can do, men have the option of doing labor jobs, whatever. So they can put themselves at risk.
Yeah.
They can use their body, exploit their body, utilize their body to overcome their own poverty. That's an advantage that men have in the market, and the advantage that women have in the market is that they're more desirable and people will pay to have sex with them, and that is a way for them to overcome their own poverty. And that if you are stopping somebody from doing something which you say is dangerous, which labor is also dangerous, and exploiting their body or doing something like immoral, and they stop them from basically overcoming their own poverty and having autonomy over their own life, because
I thought of someone
money is the route to being empowered.
I thought of someone who doesn't agree with it. Tyra Banks.
Tyra Banks doesn't agree with sex work.
I remember this episode of Tyra where she was really like shaming all these
Sex workers.
Yeah.
Whores. Go on. What did she say?
I don't remember.
So just
it was like 15 years ago.
General shaming.
It was general. Yeah, it was like it was. It was unabashed shaming.
Yeah. Well, people, it's a weird.
It was Sasha Grey.
Oh, okay.
She was on the show, and she was there.
Well,
with
I think it's like a feminist, like eye contact. I think she's cool because she's like, she owns the situation, and like if you ever see like any of her videos, she's running the room. She's running the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I don't know. I think she's badass.
But yeah, she had her boyfriend on the show, and Amir.
Who had their boyfriend on the show? Oh wait, don't talk. Shut up.
What time is it? 5 o'clock. Oh God, it's so late.
I think they probably close at 6. Should we just stop? Okay, Tyra Banks and Sasha Grey, feminism, sex work.
YouTube.
Continued. To be continued. I gotta figure out how to take out all these fucking little laughs and you moving the mic everywhere. Okay, bye.